I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Well,
Supervisor Beal,
here,
Hockey. Here. Clerk Squires. Here. Treasurer Anderson,
here,
trustee Osling.
here. Thank you. Welcome, all two of you. Anybody up there, but thanks for, thanks for coming. We can accept the public comments on agenda items if you would like. Before we address the agenda, I do have an additional part from the agenda. And as always, we can also discuss it at the time it pops up. It's not a problem. So if you want to wait till we do, I give you the amendment to the agenda, which is just one more thing. That's up to you guys. I would go do this, guys. There's two of you, so we'll just look up at both of you. I'm all set. All right, you're all set, and we'll just take it at a time. Okay, very good. Before I ask for the approval of the agenda, I have an addition to the agenda. And that is a number 15.
You're saying that.
No, it's me, I just didn't put it on. They said put it on, I'm sorry. Okay, well, so it'll be a number 15, came in this morning, which is, I received the quote for the tree service here at the community park here, and it's $3,400. So it's $400 more than I'm authorized, coming from board. So on Tuesday night, they said they could do it November 15th, all of the work. We really worked it also with the Gerrish Township Park. That's on a separate piece with the Parks and Rec. So that's what that is. And so I'm looking to move forward to doing that software. So,
Okay.
okay.
Something else, like,
Sure. Can you add it?
can I add to the agenda?
What?
And number 16?
Yeah,
Okay.
library board reappointments.
Oh,
They come at the end of December. And so everybody's aware, you don't have to do anything, I just let you know that, we have the two that are now in position, and both of them are up at the end of December, so
September?
December.
Oh, December, okay.
So I'm gonna, we've already got letters out to them to ask if they're interested in.
Okay.
We'll have to turn.
We'll cover that at the time and we'll go from there. We'll do that. Okay. So, let's do a quick motion to add a few things on there. The motion to approve the agenda with those additional items.
Move.
Hey, Jim, we've got a movement. Do we have support?
support.
Support, there we go. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Saying aye. Opposed, the same, motion carries. We're on the building and zoning. You all got Jason's report
Yeah.
on there. Jason was sick this morning, reported into duty and was sent home. God bless him, but we don't
God
need,
bless him.
we don't need to rifle through this one. So anyways, you all got this. Do you have any questions about it regarding anything that's listed in here? Please contact him. And it doesn't look like there's anything out of the ordinary when we look at it. With mine, I have total receipts of $7,636. So things are still moving, inspections are happening. There were 6. It looks like there were 15 electrical permits that were issued. Mechanicals were 11 this month, plumbings were 3, and a renewal. None on residential rental for long terms. And then there were some building permit zoning reviews, 925 or so. And then the usual payouts that we laid out. So it looks like the and I should say the individual bring-ins revenue. So okay. Any board member have any question about that?
No,
Okay.
no.
All right, very good. Police department, Chief Kaczynski, I think you have one item there, right?
Yeah.
That you highlighted.
Morning.
Morning.
First off, I'd like to welcome back Treasurer Anderson from vacation.
Yeah.
Missed you. Second off, I brought Lieutenant Shooty with me this morning, just to kind of see how work session is operated and we do things. Which leads me to the item on my work session report, requiring board action for the November 12th board meeting. I found out after I wrote the report, it was, the meeting had been moved to November 12th, so it didn't misprint on the
It
report.
hadn't been moved, it was scheduled November 12th originally.
Oh,
On the original
okay.
calendar.
Yeah, I just, yeah, on my calendar, it's still on the
I
11th, so,
Well, that was Veterans Day.
yeah. So, but with that being said, just looking for the, board to put, this formal swearing of Jonah on the November 12th, board meeting, and then I'll have the, language for, squares for that.
Okay.
Joe, welcome back. Welcome
Yeah.
aboard and find you back home where you belong.
So, yeah, we started Monday and we're a lot of creating accounts and logging in, making sure stuff's working, but we're plugging away and getting there. A lot to do, but, we'll get this. And then, yeah,
Okay.
and then, lastly, well, two more quick things, just like to take you down to number 10, I did follow up with Clerk Squires on that, there was a little bit of miscommunication for the temporary PCO, the parking sign in front of the Bay Park Liquor Shop. But I think we got that squared away and we should get some movement on it.
Yeah.
I appreciate it. And then, lastly, I'd just like to thank everybody that, helped and participated with the trunk or treat this year. I think it was a good success and, appreciate the help.
I've heard some very good things from the community.
It's fun.
Yeah. I think it went really smooth and I'll just keep dialing in a little bit more every year.
1,000 folks,
Yeah,
1,000.
at least.
at least, yeah.
Yeah, they were doing the clicker, I think, at 9:38, but there were so many going in different angles. You know,
Yeah,
some went in through the pavilion, so you miss those counts. So there's clearly 1,000 plus, clearly.
well, I know we're trying to,
Yeah,
People.
not-
trying to navigate through there to go trunk to trunk. It was almost at a standstill because there's so many people. I mean, both ways, so
Yep.
it was good.
Perfect.
But any question on anything else on the report there?
No, not for me. As a board member, they're very thorough. I appreciate that as always. Board members?
No,
I really have no problem. They're good.
You want me to learn when we do.
All right,
Thank you.
and you should have the map that you request with it, but if not, I can.
No, I'm learning.
Okay,
Thank you.
all right, thanks.
Okay, I've got, that's where in logged in with an item to the PG on the agenda for these. Thank you.
Yeah, I know, it's throwing me for loop too.
Yeah. You know. Well, 25. All right, fire EMS. Christie, anything? Okay, thank you. Should have Christie's as well.
Stuff the ambulance is coming, November 15th. Here at the hall, 11:3. And they are, they're doing, food, right? They're doing.
Yeah.
Food items.
Yeah.
Hmm.
And that's on
The 15th, which is a Saturday.
Oh,
Which is open, right?
Yeah. Perfect. Perfect.
So
That's
I
okay.
don't
They do
know.
it out front, they don't.
No.
Yeah, it's November 15th, 11 to 3, and then they obviously are gonna be starting a new firefighter 1 and 2, it looks like, November 10th through May 9th. So, you know, obviously, if you know anybody that wants to help out the community, don't fire big, would you? Yes. Yeah. All right, okay, very good. We're on to number 4, which is the glue dissolution update. Which kind of dovetails in with number 11, down here. I had hoped that I would have. At the last glue board meeting, there were a couple resolutions, and then the glue board also did one kind of on their own, if you will, there where it indicated the fill check. would kind of foster that process through for the reconciliation of the count to zero. When those checks were cashed, I did get an email this morning indicating
There's
that.
4 checks totaling $1,800.
Yeah, that's it,
That's it.
to clear, that's it
left
so far.
So,
Yeah.
That's awesome.
And so with that being said, I did put it on here just as an update. I don't have the formal minutes from before. I do have the signed resolutions, one asking us to go ahead and renew. And the second is obviously continue forward, which the final movement on that is to resolve to basically disband the articles of incorporation, that type of thing. So I had hoped we'd be able to have some action this month, but December looks like the target. By then, the proper days will have gone by for Phil to foster and reconcile, and by law for people to clear checks and that kind of thing. So more on that to follow. So,
I didn't really sound like much nothing.
pardon?
I say I'm glad to hear the account sounded much, but just.
Yeah,
he's been staying right on it, he's calling people to go to the cash.
trying to get it up.
But are you saying then that we're not going to put on the agenda to pass a resolution next week? Or are you gonna wait?
I want to wait because I don't want to pull, if I pull them off, what authority does he have to continue to those monies, the funds is what I'm concerned with. And at the end, that they did agree that if there were any residuals, that it would be split 50-50 to both townships, and somebody's got to write those checks. And so it makes better sense, I think, rather than create a problem by removing, and then somebody may at some point, if they did, question whether they had the legal authority, and I don't want to.
And it must be the mindset of the board also, I believe that they wanted to finish it out, and they didn't want it to go back to either township to finish.
And I'm okay with that. I looked at, we're a heck of a lot further than we've done since the day I took an office, so I mean, we're getting there, so. So that's probably for that, and then the discussion of the resolution. I do have a resolution, but obviously we're gonna wanna do it. We're not, I think it's unwise at this point. We'll do them both at the same time, on the December. With respect to that. And we'll have to keep contact with Phil, obviously, to, see where they're at that piece, because we can't, just continue to drag it out for, the residual has to be declared at some point to get a reconciliation of zero, so. Any questions on that? Audience, any questions? Nobody, okay. Marina, I don't have a marina report because simply the marina's full.
They didn't give you an ending report.
Didn't give me
for the season.
The ending report was the last month. According to Russ, I don't know, do you have any others, Jim?
No, and I need to go in and make an adjustment because we billed for next year
Yeah.
on the system, so probably there's
Oh, yeah.
a skewed revenue, so we need to, normally that adjustment gets done
Yeah.
at March 31st at year end as part of the audit adjustments. I'm gonna need to push that in years with
Yeah.
So I think, we'll probably wanna look at, budget actuals anyways,
I do
next month.
Yeah.
We'll be working on our budget
in
anyways,
December. Yes,
so,
we do.
I can give you some sort of a summary report at that point of the season for that, plus we could maybe just, addressing the potential budget amendments that we wanna look at for the next quarter.
Perfect.
Okay.
Sounds great. We'll look forward to that. Health Eagles Lake, Jim, anything on that end you'd like to update?
You should have a report. Did you get a report from me or not?
Yeah.
Okay.
I did.
It was just sent yesterday. I wanted to forget. But I guess I would only say that, steering committee had met last month and, the other committees, continue to meet. I'm a bit of an abbreviated schedule now, as people have left the area and people sort of settled into their tasks and they're working on specific parts of their projects. The communications committee is still got their outreach that they continue to work on, and with a couple of email campaigns, social media presence. And so they're continuing to do as they've done. The road committee, Tim is here. Did you have anything you want to say, Tim, as far as it goes, or just?
I think we're gonna sit down, Dave and I are gonna sit down and try to put everything together electronically. And then put the whole thing into Nextcloud so that people can see
Okay,
what we've got. So.
Can you kind of beat that, you either gotta step up
Oh,
here,
sorry.
'cause otherwise, the people that like our YouTube, that like to watch our YouTube show. They call me and tell me that they can't.
Yeah.
Don't forget to pay the audience.
Yeah.
A little too much.
So, I think Dave and I are gonna sit down, it's the IT expert, and some works in for the state of Michigan, and our different groups. We'll sit down and take all the information we have, put it into an electronic file. Get all the pictures coordinated with the data, because we have at least 2 pictures of every road end on both sides of the lake, so ADV7, I think that's what we have. We're gonna try to get that all together in an electronic file, get it all downloaded to Nextcloud, so everybody can, different groups can look at it, see what we've done, see if they have any questions. And that'll allow us at some point to do a printing, so that you bring out the old books with you, or basically we'll put out the same kind of book we take done in the last 2 studies. But if you will, be able to follow right along. I think they still
how that's gonna be funded, or,
not
yeah, we've got that
don't
funded.
know yet. Yeah, we're, as far as the, we're gonna look for some like 319 grant money, you know, for big waters and stuff. To fund the actual repair, suggested repairs, we have quite a few suggested repairs at different road ends. Especially the high volume ones where there's a lot of stuff going into the lake. Sent over the worksheet stuff to Brad and for his committee to look at, the formulas that were used in the past of how they developed. Like the, how many feet and what slope and what kind of materials, and that would tell you how much was going into the lake. We want to verify that those were, that was good science at the time. If it wasn't, maybe we can make some adjustments that way. There's a couple of them that the numbers seem outrageous just on the face of it, about how much material is going into the lake at different road ends. But, and some of those may have disappeared because they were gravel roads in 1993, but now they're paved roads.
Yeah.
And so that make a huge difference.
So that was the last, reporting.
2010, it was redone, but they pretty much used the same
Same, yeah.
stuff from before. So I just wanted
Yeah.
the science community, had a lot of experts on it, take a look at those kind of things and see if they agree or disagree. And then there were some assumptions on what contaminants might have been in fertilizer and that, and pesticides and stuff would have been in that material. And so that was an assumption again, that not let somebody else to sort of verify that they think that's appropriate. So that would be something that will sort of slow everything down, but the actual data collection and the photos, we can get that all put together and have it ready, let people take a look at that. Get it all into an electronic file so that when we decide we do want to print, if we want to print, or if we just want to leave it as an electronic file. One way or the other, I think, the board would like to see a hard copy. I think a lot of people are always better off looking at a hard file than trying to follow something on their phone or on their.
It takes a long time to digest when you're a paper.
But the other stuff, that can be working. And
Yeah.
it's got a whole winter to work on that, and maybe in the spring we do an actual reprint that says, well, the whole, how big it is like 2025 report.
Perfect.
And then everybody that must have printed themselves up copy again. And then,
I think that's just a good example, or an example of how, what we had hoped from the beginning was that this is the real work that's getting done on a
Yeah.
real project,
Oh, real
a real, you know, something with, that you can really, you know, identify, and it's coming along nicely, and not quite there, and but soon it'll be.
yeah, we have a meeting tonight where I'm probably gonna get the last, 16 hard copies, 16 wrote in hard copies of the actual data sheets. Once I have all those together, I'm gonna do a QC sort of 10-20% of them. I'll just randomly pick
somebody else can go look at it themselves, take the actual report that somebody else did.
Yeah.
Or go with those road ends, or see if I agree or disagree, or something with this, or something was obviously different from what's on the data sheet. And then we'll make all those corrections, and hopefully Dave and I can get together and get everything put together so that it makes it look easier to make those adjustments.
Sure.
And then we verify that have the correct pictures linked to the correct road, and I hate to turn
Yeah,
something
sure.
out and have road X pictures to
Yeah.
road Y.
Yeah.
stuff.
That's a bad, that's a bad. And it's important too to know that it's what started out as looking like something we were gonna have to do in Gerrish, but now it's a Lakewide, both
Yeah.
Gerrish and Lyon have been taken care of, so we got.
If John jumped right in, I mean, he was the first one to complete his, or 9 road in the Lyon Township, he got this stuff with the meeting. At our regular meeting, his first regular meeting, when we did the assignment of which roads he was supposed to go to and set up blank data sheets. And I think the next day, he was emailing them back to me completed, so. Maybe a day or two later, so he jumped right in, I hadn't done the QC part of it, make sure everything's correct, but. We didn't have a lot of time to train anybody on what we were actually looking at, but when you have the old data sheets and the old books with you. Sure. You can look at the old book and see what was written down, with it. You can look back up and down the road, and the road end and see if the road is the same, and you have 2 pictures, down, straight and same picture. That you can look at this and see if you see anything different, something, a tree that was there that isn't there anymore or whatever.
Yeah.
If somebody's gone down and done some hardscaping, we are finding out that there's a lot of rodents on both sides of the lake. Where the local neighborhood associations have done some real valuable work that isn't part of the old data sheet. They've gone down and made some repairs, they've fixed gullies, they put a ton of riprap and a lot of plantings, well, that's that main thing, there's a lot of plantings going on. That were not in those pictures. So people have gone down and tried to stabilize those banks. The water was maybe where the wave action was causing problems and it's not anymore kind of thing. So a lot of those things, I think they're done and they're done for free.
Exactly.
Because they're just done.
Yeah.
And so I think they go in the spring and try to hit some of those neighborhood associations and with a list of roads that they might take on, there's another road maybe you could do.
That's in Pollard, right there.
We can get you some materials, we you get us some volunteers, like that. I think we said where we thought we'd be. Pretty close. Winter's coming, so we won't be able to do much. It's hard right now just to do the QC stuff as well as leaves and needles and stuff that's in the way. You can't tell what's underneath it, so there may be a quality underneath it.
Someday winter's just gonna ride.
It is, I thought it was the out of the morning, I was. I think we'll get all that done, all the road and stuff, that's good, and then we'll still concentrate with the HLF on the fertilizer.
I'm very confident and I'm glad that you're doing this.
Thank you.
We're gonna have, I'm confident we'll have competent data, and we'll have information we didn't have before this problem.
Yeah.
And so thanks for doing this.
Well, a big part of it was Kevin joining in and getting us over onto the line side, because I was looking at a lot of pushback, and Spanish coming along for the ride.
Yeah.
It makes it so it's not project on every road down about what we're doing and why we're doing it.
Yeah, absolutely.
I try to explain to people that it's to help, they can study it, it's also some people from my shop that help them, so.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you.
Thanks, Jim.
So much.
Appreciate it.
Good job. Okay, any other questions?
Yeah, I got a
Jim or Jim for a finish?
With regard to science, did you have something, Brad, you want to talk about or necessarily? Not unless you want me to talk about. No, the science committee has doesn't meet as often as a group, but they're broken down into smaller groups and they're off with their head down on specific projects broken down with regard to things like nearshore quality, invasive species, a bunch of other topics that they're working on and in the smaller groups. That 20 some people in that one group is harder to manage to get to the end of it that is, so that's working out good for them. And with the holidays coming too, I think with all the committees, there's a bit of a back off a little bit, and I'm all for that to, enjoy the holidays and but the work continues, so.
Not a sprint.
Right.
Yeah, right, exactly. The septic committee is also, we met yesterday. And they have, I think I said before, we created a list of attributes of items that we wanted to see considered in an eventual ordinance. And we took those attributes and melded them into with a boilerplate, or if you will, another ordinance that was kind of to our liking. And made sure those attributes all showed up there in some spot, that they were in their proper location. That was an AI effort. And then yesterday we went through those and started to vet through the actual verbiage of it, and got about 2/3 of the way through it in the time we had allotted. So that's coming along, and we'll continue to get that the way we think we like it, and then hand it up to the steering committee and then to the board for their consideration, and then under the planning commission, who will, do what they need to do to make it look like a Gerrish Township ordinance the way it should. So we're still looking for a couple of members to the steering committee. I have a name I'd like to probably, I think I'm okay to bring it up now, is Don Cheney, who was a member of who is a member, I guess Don's still on the road commission, or on the road committee, but I talked to him in the last few days, and he's has an interest in maybe getting on the steering committee. So I want to follow up with him one more time before I pull that trigger, but I think that he would be very good on the steering committee. So that may need, in the past we've had, I bring it up because in the past we've had it approved by the board.
We do a steering committee.
On the steering committee, so
we would need to do
I
that.
don't know, by Tuesday or Wednesday.
yeah, I mean, I'm suggesting maybe we put him on.
Sure.
Let's put him on the agenda,
Okay.
and in case if it falls apart, it's easier to pull it off the
Do that.
back. So
Do that.
We would be looking for a motion to approve. Not changing
we'll put him to the steering committee.
for. What the? HOHL. Effective when,
Okay.
immediately, I guess. Okay, I've got that noted in here, and we'll agenda it, hopefully we'll get it accomplished by then. Anything else, anyone on the health of Higgins Way? Okay, not hearing any then, we'll go on to what I'd hoped would be some real movement, short-term rental discussion and process, but more of an update. Jim Anderson and I, have an appointment November 18th with our council to try and dislodge the current draft A.3 that went in there. In fairness to our council, the SAD lake level control structure assessment appeal on our part was necessary, which basically flopped the priority for him to getting that and the things that he's going to need and filing. Those filings have all been done. But unfortunately, that shuffled down on his plate, the short-term rental completion of his verbiage, basically, legal verbiage, you know what I call it. So we have an appointment, Jim Anderson and I, on November 18th in the morning. I think it's 10 o'clock. I don't remember, but they had it and something. Anyways, so that's all I have on the short term rental. This month, and I don't know whether the other board members have, but I talked to a couple people, about short term rental and again, I'm trying to explain the process that we're going to follow here, which is I'm going to get that thing out of there. I want a solid document that both the board and the public. I know the board has over the last few months listened to people and that kind of thing, and some people, board members might have been swayed on certain issues or they got brought attention to them. And so they have things from there. Joe, you sent me some things, and I want to hear. We'll schedule a public hearing give it about, at least 30 days so that people know when that hearing will be available also in Zoom, wherever, we can. And then we'll hear those public comments, although it's not necessary by process for a police powers ordinance if we enact it. It's the right thing to do, I think. And I think you all agree with that. And then at that time, we'll also give the public, at that time, I think the board should we'll go through the board's list. And then after that, it won't have to go back, I don't envision it have to go back to the council again. Our council attorney, I think at that point, Jim has, I know the initial documents and we have it, we can include what we feel like we want to, or topic pieces in there. If the board said, hey, I think that was a good aha moment, then we need to do that. Gonna also want to consult with our, with the chief of the PD, and then of course, if we're going to do this, we've got to put together that policy and the procedure for the short-term rental coordinator. The way we envision it, if we enact it, there'll be a short-term rental coordinator. It won't be a police officer, and we are not sending police officers to your door to knock on your door on those things. It will be an application process if it happened. For a permit, that short-term rental coordinator will gather all of that. There'll be check sheets of what you gotta have before you can be given a permit. And then the only time the PD becomes involved is the word police powers is very misunderstood when it comes to the ordinances. Would be if there's a case that gets tough and somebody's just not going to comply, the police department obviously can assist. And we envision that short-term rental coordinator to be over at the police department for a couple days a week kind of thing. However long it needs to get the applications up and running for sure. And then if there's a case down the road that gets tough, they'll prepare it for the court process and for our attorney and that kind of thing. So it seems like a more common sense way to approach it. That being said, and I say this, that's it. This board has not come to a full conclusion that it's, one of my first questions is going to be is, are we doing this with the board? And I think I want the board to be prepared to answer that question. But we answered at the same time we're in front of the ball. And so that's kind of the, I guess, the skinny on that issue. And so no foregone conclusions. There's no behind the back stuff going to go on in the winter time. There's none of that going to happen. I assure you a transparent process here. And decisions made right in front of people. So, okay. Any questions on that so far?
A thought, maybe. After we talk to Scott on the 18th, we can either wait till the next work session to discuss this, or we could have maybe a special meeting to
Yes.
discuss it.
Absolutely.
So that we can then schedule a public hearing
Right.
because I think the intention is that we'd like to implement this no later than April 1st, which would be our next fiscal year. And we're getting in.
Window's getting tight.
That window's getting tight to be able to put this process together and go through the public hearings and come to a final conclusion.
Correct.
What exactly is going to be an ordinance, assuming
And the ordinance itself requires a 30-day public hearing in the paper as well before it can be effective. So you're literally set 60 days with getting the scheduled hearing, getting there.
yeah.
There's a tight window if we still intend for April 1st. It doesn't matter, I mean, people are renting places already for next year.
A lot of them are already
It's
booked
gonna
up,
be
yeah.
inconvenient no matter when you roll this out. It's gonna, I mean, to satisfy anybody and everybody here is not an option. So if you're sitting on a fence somewhere thinking.
Well, we're
this, please don't.
we're in the same boat, Gerrish Township's dealing with that, Lake Township, you read the paper. And I talked to their treasurer yesterday and the treasurer meeting. They enacted a STR, but they're only allowing 15.
Yeah. It's not that.
It's pretty small number. See how that goes.
Do they know what they have now in their township?
I don't know, all I heard was there was a lot of contention. Apparently the meetings have become quite,
Yeah.
entertaining, and it's about that. So it's unfortunate that, but, you know, I shared with Brian, I was traveling in Europe, this last month, and a little island in Greece, they were telling me how bad it is that the people can't find places to live, you know, doctors and teachers come to these islands and all these foreign entities are buying up all the properties and there's no place for the locals to go. That's not necessarily here, but the issue of the prevalence of what's going on, just, it's definitely an issue. So, I'm just saying, maybe we might want to.
Across the world.
Yeah,
It is, it's not, it's just here,
It's here.
it's everywhere, but, I'm just saying, maybe we might want to have a special meeting just to deal with that, so we can move forward.
If we have to do a special, I'm not, for the board, that's fine. And, you know, be publicly, you know, advertise for people in Zoom and everything. If we have to do it because,
no, it's got.
but it'll be because of time. It won't be because of anything else.
We can do it after the talk with Scott, see.
Yeah, it'll be because of time. It won't be because it's anything else. Okay, any further on that? Board, anybody? Don't see anybody. Okay, so we're number 8. This month we had 3 lot splits, requests that came out of Jason's office. The first one is that's Jeffrey Harlan. And this has to do with, it's on Old Stage Road, it's back in Pine Woods Camp. And you'll see on the back of your document, in the layout, apparently he had 82 and a 55. And there are structures that have already been built, lot 8, and on what would have been the 55, and this would correct everything to setbacks if they split it from 8255 to 70 foot to 67 foot, I believe. No, yeah, so it would be the new lot line. Jason, the office has no issue with it whatsoever. So it'll bring everything into actually compliance as opposed to out of compliance at that point. So any questions on that? I'm hoping you don't, because Jason's.
For Wednesday.
But
Motion to
I'd like to, if you guys are comfortable with it, to make a motion. All three of them are kind of like correct and wrong, basically.
Mhm.
They're not, and this one I think is even between families. I think they're funny. To make it right. So it's to give 12 to 14 feet a lot 9, a lot 8 to correct the encroachment. Plus it gives the required 6 feet setback. So it seems innocuous.
Were you suggesting doing now? Or-
No.
No.
Oh, Tuesday.
Okay.
Or Wednesday, I'm sorry.
Keep
Move to approve. That lot split,
Mhm.
and it is gonna be, what number there? Do they know?
Give it a number.
Where is the number?
I don't see it.
And we give a legal description.
Well, the lot's on there, the tax ID number. And the legal description, yeah, I'll put
So,
that in motion.
so it needs to be. I mean, we don't assign a case number to that.
We go by, yeah, there, yeah, you're right, they do. It's like under, because we've had like, what, 25 this year? I'll have to look at what the last one was, but we do include the property.
All right, you have to get that.
Yeah.
With me, okay, move to approve the lot split, and I'm just gonna call it Harlan and the name. And we'll get language,
Yep.
between now and then, okay?
Yep.
All right, is there anybody, you okay to move on to the next one, guys?
Yeah.
All, everybody? Like the line for number 9, It says Herman on your agenda, it's Herman, just so you know. Looks like that, yeah.
It is.
Well, I will have to make that correction.
Please do. Okay. We're done, there it is, the next one. And number 9 is lot split request, this is Anthony, Perchi, and then there's the Perchi Family Trust on West Higgins Lake Drive. The purpose of it was to adjust the property line So the landscaping is not disturbed. So obviously, the piece on the lake, let me grab the nuisance piece here. This one. One,
Is,
170.11 and 122. And it was 161 and 92, 161. 161 or 167, I can't see that. Anyways, it would be proposed to be, it appears, at 171 and to 90 or to 122. How did they get that footage? And you don't change it, Bertie?
Or 10 feet off of,
see, there's
10 feet,
no.
or 10 feet off of
description
one
or
parcel,
anything
put it
in
on
this
the other
either. I think I'll have to get with them before our meeting to even, because this isn't even, we don't have any property for us, you know what I mean? No legal description.
Well, yeah, we just got a tax roll number
Yeah.
here, so. When I talked to Jason and when he,
You know, it's.
yeah, he did, and this is, it all would fall into our proper,
Right,
you know, pieces and whatever, so it was pretty. And once again, it wasn't anything where there's other parties involved.
make sure they follow something done.
drawn pretty well. this
So I guess if we were looking to entertain moving the process forward on a Tuesday, Michelle, we'd have to get those numbers, for that. Or do you want to do that, or do you want to hold
I
it?
would like to get it done because these are, yes,
These are what?
these are already being recommended by the two people who recommend them to us,
I
so.
understand that.
It looks like it's simply moving, you want to move
Yeah,
that land over
10-foot
10
line.
feet to the property they already own, so it's.
Yeah,
Jason went over this with me too.
I know he did with all of us, and he's
Doesn't
gonna be
create
here
any
this morning, but he's not.
Problems, so.
all right, that's what Kirchy, anyway, it will be listed, obviously, proper with some numbers and whatever that we need, so everybody understands the numbers.
That I've been keeping.
Yeah. I'm happy to, and if it doesn't come to fruition or other than, and we don't get challenged, I wouldn't pull it off. Okay, the next one, that number, anybody else have any questions or you hold any information?
Any of the splits make a buildable lot out of a non-buildable lot?
No, kind of like fixing lot lines that have been overreached.
The first one is basically the garage is over the line and they're
Already.
correcting.
Yeah.
To make it so that
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
not over the line anymore.
Yeah.
And, the 10-foot one is just because there's landscaping there and I presume that someday if they ever wanted to sell that a lot, they'd wanna get that corrected so that they wouldn't be having an issue of their landscaping on that piece of property that it's sold. Not that it's for sale,
But they're currently separate lots anyway.
Yep.
They're separate lots and they're just adjusting the line between.
All right, number 10, is Brad and Elizabeth Hopper with West Sunset. The purpose for the division, the reason for request, a garage and a well property lines, the residential parcel, and, adding parcel to the well. Oh. Well, you can. A part of the parcel listed is to be joined with another parcel. It looks to me like another one of those. That is correcting this back up, sends the back.
This is over on the golf course.
Yeah.
House.
The house, the garage appears to be built on, yeah. Different, yeah.
well,
So
at the
this is
time, like they
Right,
did it, it was
right.
all one.
all
Right.
right,
And again, this is a good correction so that
Yeah.
yes.
if you ever try to sell
Yeah.
the parcels, you're not having an encroachment.
Prevents encroachment for the future claims. And it's very popular, so. If we move to approve. And that will be the. I guess you call it a watch here, no saying.
Still not the
Oh,
trouble.
yeah, it's putting out the small chunk. Again, we'll leave those numbers. You gonna take care of that?
Sir.
I'll let you know. Any questions, on those posts? Any further on those, that should thing?
It's good to me.
We already hammered out the resolution. I do have that resolution for the renewal, but we're gonna push that to December until I can.
Okay.
Until we get a dot, or until we get the money like we found. That was specifically listed with one of the requirements of this solution was 0 and 5. Okay,
Okay.
we're moving on to the KCI contract renewal for winter taxes, Jim.
Yeah, this is a standard contract you've had in the past, basically their estimate based on the number that they had from last year for the total, tax bill that went out was $4,345.55. That could be adjusted based on what the final numbers are. But this is a much more efficient way to get your tax bills out because they print them, they mail them. It's 59 cents bulk mail instead of whatever it is now.
75.
And
What's the amount again, Jim?
$4,345.55.
Is that a hard number? We're gonna
No,
want us to
it's
approve,
based-
or
it's-
what are you gonna want to look like?
Well, the unit price is 90.9078 cents per unit. But I would ask for the motion to say something to the fact that accept their proposal as presented.
Okay.
With a maybe, if you want to put a amount not to exceed or something, but I don't think.
Hope you too.
And the other thing I will point out though is, we've got the Gazette that goes out with this, okay? There's two other entities, Health at Higgins Lake would like to also put a flyer in with that. And the master plan, which is going out, or being worked on by the planning commission, has an insert that they'd like to have in there, and it's way more efficient to utilize. And if you try to do this kind of mailing for those, it'd be, as you can see, it'd be thousands of dollars. And so they may, and I called KCI, she said, no problem. Now, at the time I called her, I said one additional insert, then two.
Right.
Even if they charge us for the printing, because you can see it's we got the bill, there's a printing setup charge. If the Health Aids Lake has to pay for something, it would not be
What is there?
thousands of dollars, it would be
Yeah.
hundreds of dollars. And so this, same with the master plan. So I will talk to KCI when I go to send the stuff out, but I think that that's the best way to get those
Right.
things out, and the timing's perfect.
Yes.
So
People look at taxes.
They do.
Yeah.
Yeah. the audience.
Yeah.
this is good company, even the other treasurer. Yesterday we had a meeting with the other township treasurers regarding the winter tax rollout, and most of them are using the same company, and they have higher regard for them. I found them to be very good people to work with.
So I'll flip over a motion here to approve the treasurer's request to contract with KCI as the. Number 13, contract with RAP solar tax collection.
Yeah, so the summer taxes are levied at the request of the schools, and this has something that started historically because back in the old days, 30 years ago, the schools would levy in the winter like everybody else. But their year is a fiscal year, it goes from July to June. And so historically, they used to have to borrow money to get through the first 6 months of the year until the taxes got levied, and then they got reimbursed. So it's more cost effective for schools to have the villages or the taxes levied in July, and that's the only reason you have a summer tax. So historically what they do is schools negotiate a per parcel deal with the township to collect for them. In the last, 2, maybe 3 years, you have used $2.85 per parcel. I looked at what's had been done for the last 10 years and, you know, just because of postage going up, I just looked at it, I thought, go to $3 per parcel, and I just met with, our counterpart in the other side of Lake Lyon, because they're part of the same school district, and he came up with the exact same number that I did, so I think that, that's what I would like to propose to the school. It's only a 15-cent per parcel increase, which is, I think, reasonable.
So we're not gonna have anything to approve in November
Well, I
for
don't
November?
know if the board needs to approve that or not.
Well, it's usually what
They're
happens,
gonna give us I gotta write a
Yeah.
contract, give it to
Right.
them,
yeah,
and I can have that for the meeting next week, and you could approve that
That's what we.
as
Yeah.
it's written, and,
So-
assuming they approve it,
well, that's
Right.
important.
Right.
Okay,
but I can have it for our board next week for the meeting.
okay. Motion to approve the contract with the Roscommon Area Public District for summer 2026 tax collection at, what is it, $3?
Yeah.
Give me the language, $3 for all.
$3 per parcel is the proposal, and I told, the superintendent.
I was gonna
most
say.
Likely to be a very small inflationary increase, you know, you look at that, it's I think less than 4% or somewhere in there.
Yeah.
And heck, the postage has gone up like.
Postage, cost of goods, all of it, I know.
We also do collect these, we can use this credit, you know, collecting the taxes, so we get an additional subsidy for that. So, so we're not getting hurt on it anyway, it means that it's a good service for the school.
Yeah, it seems to me a few years back, there was, when school came and negotiated a less amount at some point.
Larry
Later,
was
couple
here,
years
it wasn't very pretty,
And,
that
and
was the way he went
a
about
less amount, and I'm thinking that's probably how it all got out cycle, yeah. Because, you know, it was on cycle, there was increases in the past, I know, and so, anyway, moving on. Number 14, this month, I've been watching the emails go by. And trying to, you know, just kind of somewhat keep a tab on this special assessment district lake level control structure. As you're aware now, all of you. Of course, obviously, we've appealed the at-large version of this, but of course, taxes will be due on the marina and on the Gerrish Township Park. And so with that, you know, they had their meetings, and then I was somewhat unclear whether they were levying the actual taxes or whether they weren't in a position to or weren't going to. But we found out that they're actually, they're levying, it's coming to fruition. Jim got it on his communication. And with that, the board had also apparently been talking about for a bit, having an advisory committee for the lake level control structure request, or for Roscommon County. And in it, it was already apparently pre-canned that said it wanted a township board member to participate. Now, I've seen other emails from other supervisors that had said, well, hey, we'd like to, you know, send other people. You know, I don't know much,
Yeah, they wanted to choose.
They wanted to choose who you said,
Who they
hey,
chose.
hey, if we got an engineer in the township that, you know, might want to do it, maybe that'd be okay, but. The other piece to that it just kind of seems to me, and I know this won't be viewed very well by our counterparts in the county, but. They say it's not attached to the SAD issue, but indeed, you're talking about the actual project itself, what you would do with money already collected. And so I guess I don't see it.
The lack of a project.
Yeah, I guess I don't see the connection. I know we had Commissioner Morley here that last month and telling us that this was basically not a part of the same issue. And then I read that this had been a previous thing put together by previous Commissioner Ostergren. And so it's not something new. But I wondered why it wasn't done before. You levied the tax. So I guess I need you folks to, tell me what you want me to do and how you want me to respond. Sorry, folks, that's, my mother.
You need to?
No, I'm fine. Anyways, so I know I've had some individual conversations with, board members and I haven't found anybody yet, unless y'all want to step up today and say, I want to be appointed to that position. What is your pleasure of where we go with this one? I'd like to respond to them out of respect for the county, and asking. And, we could do that through a motion. If we don't want to send anybody, we can just make a motion that we don't send that. My concern on it is,
This is one of those where the meeting should be sitting on my hands, or they say too much, but,
well,
we really, on one hand, I'd like to see us supporting what the commissioners are trying to get done, whether I don't agree with necessarily the way they've gone about it and where they are right now and that sort of thing, but, I don't know if this committee is gonna make a difference. It's something they're asking to do. There's something they wanna move forward with. But,
Ideally, the committee should have been established long before.
Yeah.
Put that assessment out. And the fact that we are currently in potential litigation with the county.
that's right.
As in, for this appeal,
yeah.
I don't know. I'm torn.
I feel conflicted.
I'm conflicted as well until that gets resolved. I'm not sure that our board should sit on that. That I would be.
I agree. I agree.
I would have no problem if they were willing to allow us to have a non-board member representative from the township appointed. At least until the litigation part has been resolved, because I think that we have a potential conflict as a board. And we send a really mixed message to the public.
Right.
If we go along with this. I will tell you, I personally requested that they not do this assessment until after they've established the board. And it created some sort of a tangible project that they could put out there, because I think, I've got $207,000 of assessment on these tax bills. That I've got to collect this winter, not a really popular thing, and so I just find that I find that we have a conflict. I'd be happy as a board member to appoint somebody and represent the township as a appointee of the board until at least we get this litigation part resolved, because I think I have a conflict.
Wonder how we couldn't tell them that, instead of putting someone from the board on there, we're gonna put an appointee on it, and if they're not okay with that, then I guess then we'll.
Positions that are appointed by them.
Okay, there, to clarify this, there was a email to the supervisors. And the Lyon Township has basically said this is how they wanted to do it. There was, sent back that that's not how they're going to do it.
Well, but the difference is if I am wanting to appoint all the people that represent their area, not just a board member. We're just saying, we're not trying to.
Well, they said a township board member,
Yeah.
because I clarified, it was a township board member, and I felt the same way at the time. I'm a little bit, I'm conflicted here. And the fact, and of course, and I have to say, I'm with you, Jim, also, I don't like the way it was done, but, at the end of the day, put all that aside, no personal anything, it's not, it's business. But when I look at this from a business perspective, I think it's a conflict for us. And I think it puts us in a bad position. And it's not that I'm, I don't want anybody having discussions about the lake level control stuff, that's not it at all. Just, this just seems to be like, the tax was levied and now we'll talk about it. And then I want the board members, which then says, I want the credibility of Gerrish Township, and I want the credibility of Lyon Township. And Beaver Creek or whatever, to have board members, and it's like, well, that we all agree. Well, we know we don't agree, as evidenced by our filing of an appeal. We don't agree to the way they're funding it. Now, if they could show me the project, I would have been a lot happier, to be able to say, what is it that we're trying to do here? And what maybe that committee would have been the one to do, and then we would have something to base it on, so. I'm open, folks, what do you want to do, but I think we need to tell them something. What's our message, to the county board of commissioners regarding, this piece? Does it want to be in the form of a motion? Would you like me to just contact them and tell them our position at this point? I'm comfortable doing it without some kind of a motion, so I can speak with the authority of 5 board members, not.
I don't think we need a motion. I think that we need to tell them, unless somebody in here disagrees with me, that this board is not.
You can't make a statement of
Feel- Huh?
I can't do that. You can't, not can't.
Well, let's just that's the option then is put it in motion, but I don't think we should appoint somebody at this point. I think we should just offer that if they would like to appoint somebody else from within the township to represent the township, or allow us to appoint somebody from our board, through our board from the township to sit on there, but with having current litigation with the county, it doesn't seem correct to have somebody sitting on the same board.
We appoint somebody as a representative of the board, I mean, is that
Well,
really?
that's the person that I call them, that add another person at large, I guess you call it. From the township, that they appoint, I don't care, or they approve.
They're not gonna let us make the rules.
That was pretty evident.
That was
in the
very
emails that I
evident.
saw, that this was
Well,
set in stone.
the problem I got is, why didn't you come to us and ask us in the first place?
Right.
Now you got us in, we're in this, I feel like I'm in the same boat I was when I got elected here a year ago, and the stupid blew up.
With the sewer piece,
Well, I'm in the same,
It's no different, and that's the thing, if they wouldn't have levied.
you threw it on.
It was one thing, they did what they did, but then to levy it, and it was a quick, everybody said aye, and they moved on. If they hadn't have done, because there isn't a project, that's where,
What if we just make a motion to not, place a Gerrish Township board member
At this
at
time,
this time,
make that a motion.
on this advisory,
Okay.
on this advisory committee at this time? Is that something you
Yes.
think we can get behind?
I think so.
That, because
Myself.
I would appreciate, because I don't want to be the guy that says it and all of a sudden it's.
Well, and you're not alone, that's the thing, we all have a similar feeling of the situation, so. It's nice.
Yeah,
as a
one-
board. We need to stand together as a board, do we not?
Yeah, right.
So you all are okay for me adding a motion to.
Next one.
When it's-
Maybe at the end of that, you can reserve the right to appoint somebody at a later date subsequent to
Okay,
the resolution
Yeah.
of litigation.
yeah,
Motion to decline. Replace. A GT board member. On the advisory committee. For the rate level control structure at this time. Wow. To appoint. What did you say, Joe? To appoint
Point a board member you can put at a later date or upon the resolution of current litigation.
Of the current appeal litigation. Okay, you guys good with that one? It'll be coming to motion to decline to place a Gerrish Township board member on the advisory committee of the lake level control structure, county advisory committee. County. At this time, while reserving the right to appoint one at a later date or upon resolution of the current appeal litigation. There you go. Dave? I mean, it's not asking for the formal, are you? I mean.
No, that sounds good. We could-
If outright, I'll, I'll try to clean it up, but.
I think when they read that, they'll understand that, there's a reason why we're doing this.
Really?
Hopefully.
I'd like to think there's a reason why I do everything.
Right? Yeah.
It's just, it's so bad. Well, I'm not,
I'm just saying it's
I'm
not.
not here to repop, never had. All right, so we're on to, the next item, which is the, we need, I just finally got from, the tree service was supposed to be here, supposed to have all the stuff in and due by November 1st, and it didn't happen. I just got, the tree service, that has been out and evaluated twice now. And most of it is, the oak tree work, that couldn't been done in the spring, and now it's fall, and we gotta get it done. And, taking care of some dead stuff over here, it's also in the way of a camera for the pickleball court. And then there are some limbs that are over the gazebo that are concerning, and, we need to get that up. And I think our gazebo roof will be a lot healthier for it, we won't need some of that that green grass will floss off it. So anyways, that came in at $3,400, and as you're well aware of, our board policy is anything over 3,000 comes to the board. So I am coming to you to see if you are willing, and it's to be rescheduled for November 15th.
Is that not including Carlos?
That is not. Carlos has a separate estimate that Susan had gotten for the work specifically to Carlos. And you remember last month, I don't know whether any of you had a chance to get down, but the maple tree that that came down, the recommendation that by the tree company is take it down.
Well, of course.
And so,
Of
well,
course it is.
well, there was some discussion whether or not, I mean, it was still up, if you will, there. A
And
little thin, and whether it was gonna die or whether it wouldn't die on its own, but according to the tree company, it's likely to die on its own.
like
And you're also gonna have,
everything dies.
yeah, well, but you could potentially have that coming down on top of your wires and. So that being said, are you folks willing to entertain that on Tuesday or Wednesday?
Yeah.
Motion to approve supervisor
Let's have it.
to authorize $3,400 for removal. You guys all should have gotten that in your email like I did this morning.
Okay.
I'm gonna, and then, okay, we're on to number 16, which on the agenda, which, Michelle, you said,
Library.
library board,
Yeah.
what are you looking to do this?
Terms are,
In
well,
November?
no, this is November already, so terms end the end of December.
Yes, we got to, can we do it
So
this summer?
I haven't received anything back. I went ahead and sent letters out to the two who are on the board.
Okay.
I haven't received anything back. I'm hoping by the time we get to our December meeting,
Okay,
we'll have answers, or
that's a,
if I get word they don't want to, we can talk about it at the work session.
very good. Lynn, I know you're taking notes too. I've got 9 items to be on the agenda on Wednesday night. Okay, we'll see anything. Okay, public comment. Yeah, one more.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, we have 9.
What am I missing?
This one?
15, 14, 13, 12, 10, 8, 6.
What about 9?
Last, oh, I should have done that. Okay.
Go ahead, Jim, you got the floor.
Okay, so first of all, I was, and this is not saying while Jean was here, Jean Lawrence has come to a couple of the meetings now for the road committee. She has a wealth of information. I don't know where she stores her files. But I'm thinking that you probably can't walk through her house, because she has a ton of stuff, data stuff, and she was a part of like the original group that went around and did road end stuff. I think in the 93 study. I was thinking 2010, but I think she was part of the 1993 study. Where they went around
Yeah.
collecting information on road ends. And she's really been a big help in bringing extra good on, and she has the original paperwork from the 319 grants, the
Oh,
applications
wow.
stuff, who was involved, and then who signed off on it.
Right.
So it's just stuff to add to the file,
Yeah.
in the back, and make sure that we've done the same thing, we've duplicated the effort, but she's been a wealth of historical information. I should have said that while she was sitting there, go ahead. But, so that's one thing, thank you. The other thing is on the litigation that you're talking about. Are you free to tell me what the point of the litigation is?
Yes. The point is, we're not, obviously, there's other litigation going on, what I call the general properties and that property.
Yes.
And obviously, we've got the lake, we got the marina, we've got the Carlos.
Are you
So,
disputing that?
so
No,
we were
we're not.
watching this, I mean, I know I was watching it, I know she was too. And I'm sure the whole board is aware, but we were watching, there was early discussion that off of a public meeting that there was some desire to tax the road. You know, and, so there wasn't much discussion afterwards with any of that, and then suddenly, and then we get this is not a bill like everybody else in the mail. And they proposed to assess Gerrish Township $18,203 and some odd cents. And the
Road.
townships, the road,
Road.
on road and don't, okay? And so the townships don't own roads. And we had, you know that, statutorily, we don't own roads. We all know who owns the roads, you know what I mean? And so so they put me in touch with their attorney, and the attorney said, well, we're using the statute in a fashion in which we could do at large. And based on public use and based on public benefit, economically public benefit, and the township receives the economic public benefit. And so two things obviously stand right out here. A, we're being taxed on property we don't own, meaning Gerrish Township. B, even if you use the section of the use piece, if you will, I can't dictate use on that roadway. And they had used Public Act 56 as an example of, well, you regulate the road. No, we regulate a dock in the water. That's what we regulate. I can't even pull that dock up on the shore without a permit from the owner, which is the Roscommon County Road Commission. And so that's where our argument lies, is the appeal of the actual, you know, I know they use, in discussion with them, they used a statute that they said exempts the Roscommon County Road Commission from the taxation of that property. And so on behalf of our citizens, because literally, quite literally put, the only place we have to go to get money is from where? Our citizens. And when I talk to the attorney, and I still feel passionate about it, is I'm not sure whose argument we're making here, because the Roscommon County will receive that same economic benefit that we would. And so at the very, at least we own 50-50. The only ownership right, as you know, Tim, that we have, or I shouldn't say right, it kind of gets thrust upon us, is almost like a right of first refusal upon abandonment or whatever. We've been sued many times when we just sit and get sued, because the road commission says they want to hold that road. And whoever the other party is says, no, we don't want you to hold that road, we want you to abandon it, vacate it, do whatever. That's the position we found ourselves in. And so, nobody reached out to us, from the county at all, to talk about it or otherwise, despite I sent a letter and there was nothing inspired. And then they continued on with what they were doing, and it left us in a position of, I'd like to get an answer, from us on behalf of us people, because the people are going to pay $18,203 for the river property we don't own. With an arguable, who shares, it, you know what I mean?
Well, compounding that is that they had the hearing under that law, you had what, 14 days?
50.
50 days to dispute it. We had to rush to the attorney to at least have a standing to be able to make the appeal. So that's where we're at now. And then we get appealed in the local court here. And depending on what that comes out of that, then it would go to another level of appeals if we
We may have,
decide to pursue it. The issue too is, this is the first of probably more assessments.
So, yeah.
And if we don't deal with the precedent that's set here, then we will have to basically abide by it. But
it's Pandora's box.
is to come, and so as a fiduciary responsibility to the citizens, I think we need to address that, and that's, I'm not saying that the county wasn't due the $400,000. I saw the county, I know we put that money out there, but a lot of people think that that 400,000 will be sitting in that drain account when it's all collected. It won't.
No.
It's gonna go right back out to the general fund wherever it came from. That drain account will be back to zero, and the next, when they go do a project, they're gonna start over again.
That's our thought, okay, it's our, and I guess that's the thought process behind it.
Well, I wondered if it was the same, because I talked to, the treasurer from mine, and they had filed as well. And I think I think it was probably $26,000 or something like that.
Well, they missed, I think they have missed their appeal time.
Did it?
Yeah,
I think they're gonna argue it, but they did not appeal it in time.
and I don't know how theirs would be more than ours. Ours is told $18,203.
Well, I think that 26 includes the at-large and the
We're
private.
not appealing that.
Yeah.
We're not appealing,
We're
we're not
$30,000
appealing.
out of this year budget is what they're asking us to do.
Yeah, so the 12 is properties that we actually own.
Yeah.
Like the marina and the park.
Yeah.
The 18 is the at-large.
It's the road ends.
And I'm not an attorney, but it just, of my logic, I just don't see how we could be exclusively held accountable for that
Well,
money.
not only
And the
that, but
money
the
that
rest
was
is-
put towards that was arbitrary. They had a number, and then when they had that one hearing, they upped the percentage, and it basically in the minutes, they more or less state that it was arbitrarily increased
Yeah, I
because
think I
of
listened
the
to it.
outcry of the people that
People said,
were
why are the
wired, yeah,
why is it
so.
paid, townships paying more, why are we paying this, there's so forth, there's.
Well, and I keep hearing that they donated 30,000 to that. Well, I don't consider the 30,000 a donation. You are the owner of the structure. It's your goods. I mean, it's,
Yeah.
if it's my place,
They put
I
$10,000 a year into the general fund, what I think was this thing that they like, that over like 3 years, we put $30,000 for just. A lot of people said, wanted more,
The last 3 years.
well, you had the total bill.
So the hardship for us was adding those two figures together,
Yeah.
and they're in a tax bill, and there was no inclination when we did our budget preparation 15 months ago that even this was gonna happen, and so now it's a hardship coming out on a budget year that obviously I'm glad we took everything.
Our general fund.
Well, good.
Our general fund levies.
Yeah.
Around this year, I guess $370,000. That's what we levy to run this township as far as a millage. That's it.
That's it.
It's 0.9, it's 0.96 something like that. And so that is 10% of what our millage is this last year, or roughly, 9%.
Which hasn't had the rollback in a long time.
So, it's not sustainable if this was to keep on going, and so we don't have a choice, we need to address it.
So, hey, I guess I knew when I first heard about it, what the road commission was gonna say.
Well, sure.
That they own the roads, they have the right of way, they control the right of way.
Yeah.
By statute, they control what can happen in that they don't have that, base fee and ownership. So there's levels of ownership. Of anything like that, of public property, so who's the first underlying owner, who's the second underlying owner? When in a plat, it's pretty clear on the original plans. That it was, that variable was dedicated to the public. And then. I think the township and county, but for sure the townships signed the plan. Back in the twenties or thirties or whatever it was, so I think they were signing for the dedication of the plat road.
Yeah.
So if you get into a neighborhood like Longstanding, said there's.
Yep.
10 or 15 road ends that were platted to the public,
Mhm.
and then you have somebody from Lyon Township. Sign that document saying we accept the authority over that right away.
Mhm.
And I think that's when, back in all law cases, I was probably involved in. As many as we were, times 2 or times 10, I think, because of all the different. Road ends around county. And we always said, we don't own anything. We just have control of the right of way. That's the statute, because it's the statute that gives us that. So when people ask me what they can do.
By statute, we own nothing.
Yeah, so I think that's.
It's gotta have a
It's gonna
review.
be interesting. Yeah, somebody's gonna have to decide who owns those right of ways.
Again, because literally by Michigan's own statutes, it literally says we don't own, we're
Yeah.
excluded from that. It's cities and villages and counties and state.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
that
so I
was,
had always figured that.
yeah, that was the big red flag.
I thought it was gonna be honestly between the county and road commission. And the road commission would say, no, we can't own the road right away, we have the authority over it, but you actually own it. So tax yourself, so you pay that bill.
Yeah, so I think what happened, there probably was conversations that happened, in the road commission, sorry, they told them.
Oh, yeah.
And then they turned around and said, well,
Who else?
townships.
And
We confessed, I asked for it in my letter, prior to doing anything. If anyone can point me to the statute that indicates that the townships own the road ends, I'd be grateful for that, because I couldn't find it. And we didn't even go to Scott until I couldn't find it. I sat there researching, I'm like, I gotta go to our attorney because, and at this point, it is a Pandora's box, not to mention the township local ownership of that amount of money. Coupled obviously this year with constitutional revenue sharing, cut of 6.3% for the townships. And obviously, everybody's feeding up and giving more money to roads, which by the way, the townships don't get any money, but you took 6.3% of our constitutional. The donation cause, as well as the statutory revenue, which is a small amount here, but at the end of the day, it's kind of like, it's a perfect storm here, and my concern is that if we don't get some answers to this, future township budgets are, you know what I mean?
yeah, the next bill, I'm thinking more towards Hope Lake, the 4 townships down there. Potentially getting millions of dollars, and that's sad where they do finalize a plan for that new infrastructure down there. It's gonna be millions and millions of dollars, and they're gonna pay, now they're gonna have to pay their share. Of whatever number that came up with, unless they challenge it and win.
You see, and I was watching like the Hope Lake stuff, and I know they've got some programs.
Well, lots.
And so, and no one, I thought maybe the township down there, somebody would step up and ask the logical thing, with that. Because they have worked.
And I don't know if they got a number that they thought was less than what they were expecting, maybe.
And maybe happy.
And said, we're just gonna be happy. And a couple of the townships have, given us earlier, a couple of the townships are in turmoil. So I don't think they can have a reasonable discussion about anything at this point. Well, they would have
We're just reacting to not being told.
yeah, they just walk into the meeting and they hit them in the face and they just say, okay, we got this letter that we owe them $20,000, so we paid it $20,000. There's no thought behind whether they have to pay it or not. Now it's too late. So they're gonna pay their shares.
Yeah.
Of this, what we call the smaller SAD, like this $400,000, we just said small number. But compared to what the final number is gonna be, it's gonna be astronomical. And then the end of the discussion about this advisory, I think you're right, not to join it when that litigation is done. But that LLC advisory board is going to sit down and say, what, if anything, is going to happen in that lake level control structure.
Yeah.
And so I think originally they said they wanted 4 people, that 4 homestead people and 4 non-homestead, but all lakefront owners, because they were the ones that were part of the SAD.
And that's your group, I've seen that.
Yeah, yeah, so they were, I know on both lake it was 4 homestead people, 4 non-homestead people, and then 4, 1 each from the townships, the 4 townships, that was 12 people. And then Chase would be the 13th decider if there was a tie vote of some sort on some issue. But they're gonna sit down and decide what kind of a dam is going in down there on the whole lake and
See, one of the other things that I was concerned about, and I asked, Commissioner Morley, and she did get back with me, the answer is no, there's no liability coverage for anybody we put on there. Because even though it's an advisory committee, you know, we all know, you know, it's, everything is litigated. And it's gonna go down to wherever and whoever that sat there and made any of those decisions, and I don't tread lightly in putting a board member, on that board, or on that committee, and then turn around and exposing our township to potentially more liability on a vicarious basis, and again, this is not, I don't want to portray this as us or me personally versus the county at all, this is just a business thing, and I think that, what, you know, I felt like, you know, Jim has already articulated, look, we don't have a choice. We don't have a choice. And we did make the choice not to go into one that's already being litigated on process for the property number pieces out there. That will fall where it may, and it was already in place. But we saw this at large as a significantly different piece of
You know,
the puzzle.
The other difference too is that the county levied a federal assessment. They had public hearings, but they basically, without a vote of the people, were able to do this. Now, our at-large portion that we're stuck with, we can't do that. We have to go ask for a millage, and what do you think is gonna happen when you do that?
Good luck with that. Yeah,
thank you.
yeah, thank you. I hope we answered your question the best we can anyway.
Appreciate it.
Yep, sure. Anybody else out there, public comment, anything? Nobody on Zoom, board members, Mary Jo,
You don't have nothing.
nothing, Michelle?
Our office will be closed November 11th. Celebration of Veterans Day.
The whole town is closed, right?
Yeah.
Well, except for the
Township will be
essential
closed.
services, the PD fire, you know, those are all available from central resources and all that. Anything else?
Oh, we didn't. 3 grand. I think I told you. Did I tell you? Yeah. We have to go back and look at our detailed report of where we lagged or whatever. Yeah, we haven't found it yet.
They give you that report, say
I
why,
think so, yeah, we just haven't gone on to see
Okay.
what we got.
that's too bad.
No.
Well, don't be discouraged, we'll keep trying.
That's for the cemeteries,
Yeah.
right?
Those people aren't going anywhere.
Right?
They'll be happy when they get it.
Well, I'm glad you brought that. Reminded me. Jim? Yeah.
I didn't talk to you, but retract is the, filing entity, if you will, for the compost site, and we have to fill out every year, just do next week, and by the way, I went through the whole application.
Yep.
And got through that, but I don't have the right numbers yet, my tool is in Lansing, and it's back today, so I'll give them there and get
If
that.
you need help again with it,
Yeah.
whatever, so we can, that is the retract he's talking about, is that we fell under the graces of Eagle and the Materials Management Act 2023. They quickly rolled out their permit process, so you could pay your permit if you fell in it. We did fall into the permit situation, which we did, yeah, it is 5 years, but they're gonna make you reaffirm and what your piles are by the end and all.
Oh, every year, in that 5 years.
These 5 years, but you're required for reporting every year.
Okay,
into this system.
makes sense.
The reporting is a little unusual to it, but anyway, but it's best, we'll get it, what they need.
Yeah.
This is out of my lane, but the volleyball team for the Roscommon High School is in district finals, and I watched the game last night. They got awesome volleyball team.
Yeah.
Number one in the Division Three.
Yeah, on the state, yeah.
Yeah, they're good.
They will likely win tonight to win the districts, and then I think I heard the regionals started home, like,
Yeah, they're outstanding.
yeah, they are fun to watch.
Yeah.
And this weekend is the high school musical theater program, Fridays, three performances, and, I've been kind of watching after that. I have no special interest in that.
Yeah, so,
Yeah.
But they're putting on an awesome show too, it's needs to go to that.
Very good.
That's it.
And tickets are running low.
That's what I heard, yeah,
Yeah.
I'm surprised.
Great problem.
Yeah, like pretty much Saturday, 2 o'clock is the only tickets available.
oh,
really?
really?
That's what the go fund on the internet.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
Jerry?
Saturday too.
Tax bills are roughed out. I have sent the stuff to Julie, even though she's on vacation. I did send her, the summary. I believe I have a finished product. She'll confirm that. We should be able to have those out on a very timely basis this year. Compared to last year, but everybody should get their bill by the 1st of December.
Great,
Always very good news, Jim.
right before Christmas.
You treasures of all life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Get them bills out.
Well, I like I say,
No
I'm
kind of relief story.
we had to add the Higgins Lake special suspend on there, so that probably gonna make me less popular.
Oh, just get ready for the phone calls, or.
It's not our tag. Okay, anything else? I just wanted to remind you all there that I did have the well finally got looked at and whatever, and to compound more, for money being piled out of this place. That's about, it'll cost us roughly $12,200. With, yeah, the guy gave us, well, he knows we're not looking at anything, I wanted to try and budget, but we'll have to see what's what. Over there currently, we have no water. Of course, it's cleaned out now and stuff, but we had no water before for the last 2 months of the season, so. Our old infrastructure bit us before we got to it, so. From the supervisor's office, I can tell you that I have a lot of stuff just laying on my desk waiting for other people frustrating me. Other than that, I think we're moving along at the pace that we can. It's always not fast enough for me, but well. So that's all that I have. Police department, you got any events coming up, or what are you doing right now? I know you just shifted from trunk or treat to
Yeah, I mean,
Foster,
We're doing-
Christmas.
Kids Helping Kids shopping was
Yeah.
yesterday, I think.
Helping kids, yeah.
Um,
And Shop with the Cops, probably opening soon.
Shop with Cop application's been put out.
Okay.
Messiah Lutheran Church turkey basket giveaways. I was
Okay.
contacted last week or 2 weeks ago.
Outstanding.
We're doing that.
Yep.
And then we'll probably assist the county with their turkey giveaways and stuff, the
Seniors.
basket, yes.
Yeah. Outstanding, good. I'm glad to see that community work continuing up. Thank you.
Mhm.
For me anyways, thank you.
Yeah.
I think that's one of the very important things to continue to do in our community. All right, anybody have anything else before I, take a motion to adjourn at, 10:35? Is that 10:30? Yeah. Like that.
Yep.
Anybody want to make that motion?
Boom.
Moved by Osling.
I'll
and
support.
Supported by Appy. Any further discussion? All those in favor indicate by saying aye. Opposed, the same, motion carried. Thank you all, and we'll see you on the 12th.